Where are we? Oh, we're around the back of Boo Boo Pharmacy. Okay. I was really confused. I'm like, I don't recognize this angle. I don't recognize this building. I've never been there before. What are we doing? Asking around for information. I'm sorry, catch me up on what's happening. I don't really know. I have no context. Hello, Hu Tao.
While I'm idling time on admiring the scenery, the spectacled snake-bedecked doc's doing surgery.
And you have a problem with that, why?
Hello, you busy bees, and what do you have to discuss with the funeral director today?
There mustn't be enough dead people in the world if she's here just taking in the sights.
Actually, don't tell me. Let me guess. From the looks on your faces, you've got some questions for me.
I mean, I do, but I don't know what the traveler wants to ask. It's been a few days since I played Genshin. A week. So I'm not quite sure where we left this story quest, in that we're approaching Hu Tao at this moment.
Guilty as charged.
Okay, so we are asking what I want to know.
We were just a little curious about Baizhu's master. What was he like?
Okay, that's good. Those are the questions I had too.
Oh, and also, how come you and Baizhu could tell so quickly that Jia Liang had god remains in his system?
Can we just ask the question what god remains even are? Because I'm a little confused on that front.
Huh? I thought I told you once before. Wangsheng Funeral Parlor was first founded to fight back against the vengeful wrath of gods defeated in war.
Wait, what? Okay, one, I don't remember that because it was way too long ago. But two, why was a funeral parlor founded to fight against gods? I don't get it. What does a funeral parlor have to do with going after gods? That vaguely rings a bell.
Well, it is a dusty old tale by this point. Long story
Do I
short,
have it?
in the ancient world, dead gods were acting up. So our ancestors started purifying the air and burning the bodies of the deceased to guard the border between life and death.
Huh? Do you mean deceased as in the dead gods, or deceased as in the people? What would burning the bodies of dead people have to do with dead gods acting? Okay, I must be missing something.
These days, we don't deal with the wrath of the gods anymore, but
I mean, we
all the
kinda
relevant
do.
know-how is still passed down to each generation, so we can identify God's remains when we see them.
But what are God's remains?
Okay, Paimon gets it now.
I don't.
Wait, so how did Baizhu learn to spot them?
Almost certainly from his master, who was also my great-uncle. Baizhu's master was my grandpa's younger brother, a former deputy director of Wangsheng Funeral Parlor.
Oh, is that what a great uncle is? I didn't even think about that.
Wow, fancy that. Huh. So, if he was from Wangsheng Funeral Parlor, how did he end up as Baizhu's master?
According to my grandpa, he and my great-uncle once went traveling together when they were young. They ended up at Chenyu Vale, where they met a pharmacist. That pharmacist must have cast some sort of spell on my great-uncle, because after that encounter, he suddenly announced he wanted to leave the family business and go practice medicine instead.
So believing that somebody of the family could have interests in life outside of the funeral parlor, it seems to be foreign enough to Hu Tao that she thinks that a spell must have been cast. Interesting.
My grandpa had a huge argument with him, but he couldn't convince him to stay.
Well, if he doesn't want to deal with dead bodies all day, good for him. He found his passion in life.
So my grandpa inherited the funeral parlor, while my great-uncle stayed in Chenyu Vale to practice medicine. They never spoke to each other again.
That's kind of sad that your grandfather let his bitterness over the situation get the better of him.
Funeral director to doctor is a pretty big career change.
It's kind of a sideways
Hard
step,
to
though,
imagine.
in a way.
But why did it drive a wedge between them for the rest of their lives? That seems a bit extreme.
Because if you think about it, they're in the same line of business in a way. Just one deals with alive patients and one deals with dead patients. So he kind of just took a step sideways. It's a completely different, set of skills, but philosophically, it's a sidestep.
If he had just become a regular doctor, there would have been no issue. After all, the Wangsheng funeral parlor wasn't unlike a regular doctor's clinic in the early days. But according to my grandpa, the pharmacist they met had a very ominous aura about him.
Does he just say that because he corrupted his brother?
And on top of that, the kind of medicine practiced in the Chenyu Vale tradition goes against the natural order of things.
I'm trying to figure out what kind of medicine would go against the natural law of order of things. You mean medicine that keeps people alive for longer? Actual medicine?
In what way?
Don't know. My grandpa didn't know the specifics. And you've seen how wary Baizhu is around me. He'd never tell me anything.
He's probably wary around you because of how you are around him. He's just reacting to you.
But even that says to me that he definitely has something to hide.
I just think you're biased and have a grudge.
One thing I do know about Baizhu is that he's obsessed with the idea of immortality. But whether that has anything to do with what he's hiding is hard to say.
Are you sure it's immortality, not just the preservation of life? Because those are two very different things. Preservation of life is something that every doctor is interested in. So I wonder if you're looking more into it than there actually is just because you have a grudge. And the concept of immortality is kind of not special here in Teyvat. Everybody's obsessed with it.
Anyway, so I will be sticking around here for now to keep a close eye on the situation. Maybe tomorrow I'll finally figure out what he's up to.
Or maybe you can just keep your nose out of other people's businesses and, take care of your own. He's done absolutely nothing shady, done absolutely nothing to warrant your interference. Just leave the poor man alone to do his job. Man, Hu Tao, you're really putting me offside. I don't like it.
That, it seems like we have more questions than answers.
Yeah, I do agree with that assessment.
Never mind. We'll just have to ask Baizhu himself about all of this tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know what Hu Tao's issue is, but she's bothering me a little bit. Is it going to be in the pharmacy? Yes.
It's a new day! Let's go back to Boo Boo Pharmacy and check out how Jia Liang is doing.
Hi, guys. Oh, God, Hu Tao's here.
Dad!
You have a job, Hu Tao. Go do it. And if you aren't working today, get a bloody hobby.
Are you?
Dad, you remember me!
Yes, I remember now. Oh, are you? I'm so sorry. You must have been worried sick. Has your mom shown up yet? She's been gone for a while, hasn't she?
Don't worry, Dad. I got the Adventurers Guild to help us look for her.
Who's going to pay them?
And Dr. Baizhu's gonna help too.
Who's going to pay him?
Right now, all you need to do is concentrate on getting better.
Great. That's wonderful. I can't thank you enough, Dr. Baizhu.
My pleasure, really. It's the least I can do to honor my late master's dying wish. If anything, I should be apologizing to you for not making the time to visit in all these years.
Not at all, Dr. Baizhu. It's only because Jiang Li... What was her reason again?
You're still in the early stages of recovery, so you'll need to take it easy for a while. Take it slowly and try not to overexert yourself.
I suggest you stay at Boo Boo Pharmacy and rest for at least the next few days.
Director Hu, do you have any further reservations about Jia Liang's condition?
It seems like the evil presence is gone after all. You really did manage to suppress it, huh? But how did you accomplish this in a single night?
Because he's good at his job?
That would be a trade secret, I'm afraid. If that gives you any cause for concern, you may continue to monitor Jia Liang for as long as you wish.
I know Liang is 2 syllables, but Jia is 1, so please stop putting it into 2.
Though I regret to say that Boo Boo Pharmacy cannot offer to reimburse Wangsheng Funeral Parlor for any revenue lost in the meantime.
It's not just me who's telling this woman to go back and do her damn job.
Oh, come on, Baizhu. I'm not that unreasonable.
I mean, you're kind of pushing it here at the moment. You probably need to get some rest. Baizhu looks a little worse for wear. I'm wondering if maybe one of the methods for getting the remains out of Xiaoliang's body is to put some of it into his own. I mean, I don't know what the fuck a god's remains is because the game's not really explaining it to me. I don't think it means pieces of dead gods in him, so I'm not quite sure what the term is referring to. Bad translation? Most likely. But I wonder if something of the process puts some of the bad stuff inside his body. Something's wrong.
I've been stuck indoors for too long. Baizhu, take me outside for some air, or I'm going to suffocate.
Oh, she's looking out for him.
Yes, of course. Everyone, please excuse Qiangsheng and myself for a moment.
What a nice snake. That doesn't seem to have much agency because she's always strapped to Baiju's body.
Suffering now, are we? Did you seriously expect to cover it up just by putting on a brave face and ignoring it? If it weren't for my quick thinking, they'd have all seen the sorry state you're in by now.
Well, I did.
But in any case, why must you keep this a secret from everybody? You should at least share your secret with one person you trust.
I mean, you have no reason to trust me. We haven't had any dealings in the past that really indicate that I'm a great friend to you. But I guess you can trust me with your words.
Who's there?
I'm just standing in the open. You can't. It's not like I'm hiding. It's me.
Why did you follow us here?
Because you're feeling unwell. Oh, that's literally what it says. I thought you were looking a little unwell.
Oh, it's nothing. I just needed to get some air.
Cough, cough.
What did I just say about putting on a brave face? Traveler, Paimon, the truth is, Baizhu did not cure Jialiang's illness.
She pronounces it correctly.
Instead, he transferred some of his own life force to his patient to temporarily subdue the poison in his system.
Oh, it's even worse than I thought. I thought he took it inside himself and then he's got to fight the infection in his own body. But this is worse in that the issue isn't even solved. It's just temporarily put on hold. What do you do when your life force within his body runs out and you have to do it again? That's not a solution, or are you just buying yourself some time to figure it out? But then why would you lie about it? I'm so confused.
Baizhu, can you please explain all of this?
My predecessors in medicine forged a contract with Qiangsheng. Every successor to this contract is able to use Qiangsheng's secret art to treat patients.
How old is this snake? What a boring life you lead, Qiangsheng. You live on the neck of each Boo Boo Pharmacy person and you don't really go anywhere or do anything. That doesn't sound very fun. You're looking very pixelated though, dear.
I believe the irregularities with Jialiang's heart meridian were likely caused by a poison concocted using god remains as a key ingredient.
I'm just imagining people getting tweezers and grabbing like decaying tissue from a dead god's body and using it as a poison.
The poison has not been purged from Jialiang's system. Rather, I infused him with some of my own life force, using Qiangsheng as the delivery medium. This will suppress the poison's effects for a limited time.
Using Qiangsheng as a delivery medium. What did you do, bite him?
Qiangsheng? You can do that? Huh. Paimon always thought you were just Baiju's strange choice of a necklace.
Yeah, just it's a new fashion accessory. It's all the rage in Liyue these days.
Hey, I'll have you know that I commanded the respect of even the Adepti back in Chenyu Vale. If anything, he is my mannequin. I was treating patients with Baizhu's master's master long before he ever set eyes on his first medical text.
Whoa. Guess you shouldn't judge a snake by its skin.
Please, that's enough.
You're looking even worse now than before. Are you sure you're okay?
Wait a sec. Huto was saying that the branch of medicine you studied uses some pretty dubious methods. So, when you transfer your life force, does that mean you're actually damaging your own body?
Hardly. Jiangsheng helps to keep my chi in balance, so there is no great harm done.
Great harm, he says, as he struggles to breathe.
Still, Baiju's life force is not unlimited. We must find a way to neutralize the poison in Jialiang's body. And soon. Traveler, Paimon, would you lend this dummy a hand? He needs someone checking up on him, or he'll exhaust himself trying to accomplish everything on his own.
Are you invisible? Why can't you be that person? Go on, Baizhu. Let us help you.
Baizhu, don't you think you should seize this opportunity?
For what?
You cannot expect to hide this from everyone for your entire life. Time will see that all secrets surface eventually.
But the secret didn't come out with any of his predecessors. Why must it come out in his lifetime?
Entire life. Thank you, Traveler and Paimon.
That was ominous. Do you have a shorter lifespan than other people?
Paimon doesn't think we've seen this side of you. But there's no need to thank us. You've helped us out before.
So what are the next steps?
The poison in Jialiang's system must have accumulated over a prolonged period. I think I should pay a visit to their family home and look for clues as to how he might have been exposed to it.
I don't remember the story of his partner or the kid's mother, but it'd be great if Genshin took a dark turn and she was poisoning him. That'd be great. The game will never do that. Although we did have a poison storyline, so you can't say they haven't tried it before. Do you know where his house is?
Yes. I asked Ayu this morning
That was
before
actually
you
one of the
arrived.
darker stories. I wish they'd do that
He told me
again.
that his family lives in a secluded spot to the west of Qingsa village.
Yeah, that was a pretty dark quest for Genshin. I really want some more darkness like that.
Let's head there together once I've asked Gui and Chi-Chi to look after the pharmacy. As well as investigating Jia Liang's exposure to the poison, we should also keep an eye out for Ayu's missing mother, my fellow disciple Jiang Li.
I think she's the culprit, because that would spice this game up a little bit. I don't like that. Can I glide there? I don't want to climb. The short answer is no. Oh, she didn't climb. It's a miracle. Have we ever been here before? I don't think I've ever been to this part of the island. Never had a reason to.
Whoa. There's a house all the way out here? Huh. It's so well hidden, Paimon's never noticed it before.
I'm pretty sure it just didn't exist until now, Paimon.
Nor have I. And I've hosted clinics at Qingsa village many times in the past. If you ask me, Jiang Li was trying to remain unnoticed.
But why?
Oh, that reminds Paimon. We meant to ask earlier, but it slipped our minds in the rush
Speak
to
for
get
yourself.
here. Could you tell us more about Jiang Li? You said she was your fellow disciple, right?
She was indeed. We studied medicine together under the same master near Chenyu Vale. She is several years older than I and also began her travels far earlier than me. As a result, the time I spent studying alongside her was rather short.
Supposedly, she met an herb gatherer sometime during her travels and decided to settle down with him. That must have been Jialiang.
Wait, Changxiang, are you saying neither of you had actually met Xiao or Ayu before all of this?
Why are you surprised by that? That seems normal to me, yeah?
Jiangli did occasionally come back to Chenyu Vale to see our master, but for whatever reason, she hardly ever talked about her family. The last time she visited us, she and Master had some sort of quarrel. We never heard from her after that. It almost seemed as if she'd gone into hiding.
Quarrel? What happened?
I don't know. I did not witness the argument myself.
Life would have been much easier if you had.
Nor did Master ever explain it to me. All he would say is that should I ever encounter Jiangli or her family in the future, I should do everything in my power to help them.
So he's operating on blind faith and trust at this point. His master told him to do anything he could to help. And so that's what he's doing with his life force. I just find that kind of blind faith unfathomable. I would need to know why I'm doing it before I would agree.
Oh, so that's why you went to such extreme lengths to help Jialiang.
No. Even if my master had never said anything, it would still be my duty as a doctor to help him. My decision would have remained the same.
So do you often give your life force to patients? That doesn't sound like a very long life living endeavor. English, hard, apparently. It sounds like you're shortening your lifespan by doing this frequently.
Paimon never knew you were so selfless, Baizhu. Paimon always had you down as the sneaky, scheming type. Sorry.
Is it selflessness, though? It could also be narcissism in a way. You know, I will heal you no matter the cost because I can heal you. I will heal you because I'm the best. Could also be the way you could look at it.
So a few words from me is enough to dispel all your suspicions? You ought not be quite so quick to relax your guard, Paimon. Sometimes even the good guys have their own private agenda.
It's a lesson she needs to learn. You've got some clipping here, sir. Bit of green popping through your arm. Unless you've got a tattoo I don't know about.
Okay, that was the most suspicious sounding thing you've ever said.
Oh no,
Let's
it's part of the
leave idle
design,
chatter
apparently.
there for now.
Even though it's not connected.
Jiangli
Is
has
it?
lived in this house for many years.
I don't think it's connected.
There must be something here that can shed a little light on this whole situation. Let's split up. But if anyone finds anything, we'll examine it together.
It's a tiny house. I don't think we need to split up, buddy. I think we're fine. Why are we observing a wooden pillar? What is it going to tell us? Several faint marks can be seen on the pillar. Maybe it was used to record Ayu's height as he grew up. That's great. Not really suspicious. There's some faded writing near the bottom mark. The more quickly Ayu grows up, the sooner can leave. Has she abandoned her family? Judging by the number of marks on the pillar, the family has led a secluded existence here for many, many years. I think she's abandoned them. Alright. Am I going around? Yes, I am. It's cool to see that he's actually moving through the environment rather than just standing still doing nothing. The firewood is stacked neat. Your definition of neatly and mine vary greatly. And the logs were cut with great power and precision given how thick that bad boy is. Yeah. Whoever chopped the firewood must have been physically fit. Some logs at the bottom of the pile had begun to rot. It must have been a while since any new wood was added to the pile. Not quite sure what that tells us. Diary with childish handwriting. Some roof tiles broke. Mum and I tried to get up and take a look, but we didn't manage. Luckily, Dad was able to fix them in no time. The dinner table was a bit wobbly today when we sat down to eat. Dad tried to fix it, but ended up breaking one of the legs by accident. Dad's forgetting things again. I'll have to write it all down for now and read it back to him when he's feeling a bit better.
Traveler, Paimon, come quick!
Cool, because I got absolutely nothing.
What is this?
We walked past this multiple times and we didn't notice it. Traveler, Paimon, I think you need to get your eyesight checked.
Chung Sheng and I found a hidden compartment.
Ah, okay.
This is what was hidden
Fair.
inside.
I retract my medical advice. God remains?
You sense it too?
No, just that it's weird.
You're right. This is a poison concocted using god remains.
Is it breathing? Paimon's not seeing things, is she?
I don't think the bottle is breathing, Paimon, no.
No, your eyes do not deceive you. I do believe the poison in this bottle is alive.
How does a mist breathe? I'm not sure I understand the image. Alive?
Some toxins act a lot like living organisms. I read about this once in the Origins and Symptoms of Diseases. This ancient class of poisons consists of mother and minor lodes, capable of sustaining a connection over vast distances. If it's a concoction of this kind we're dealing with, then both the poison in Jialiang's system and this one here are likely minor lodes. Offshoots, essentially.
Offshoots? So, the main body is somewhere else?
Even without this talk of mother lodes and minor lodes, I could have told you that.
Correct. Whoever is administering the poison can manipulate the source to indirectly control the poisoned individual's behavior and even cognition. Similarly, the poisoned individual will hear, to a varying extent, the call of the source.
The call of the... Wait. So, back when Jialiang ran off, maybe that explains where he was heading!
He was going back towards Jinxia village.
Only one thing could have been drawing him there. The source of the god remains used as the poison's key ingredient, the motherlode.
So you're saying it's here somewhere. We just don't know where.
This is getting crazier and crazier. What kind of person would do all this just to poison Jialiang?
I'm just blindly accepting the fact that manipulating the mother source can affect poison that has come from it, because it makes absolutely no sense. But I'm just buying it and moving it on. Sir?
Hey, why has everyone gone quiet all of a sudden?
Since this poison was carefully hidden away in a secret compartment, the one who concocted it is likely a resident of the house.
I already told you that.
You mean Jialiang?
No.
Why would he poison himself?
The wife.
Think a little harder, Paimon. Someone else who lives here, and who might have expertise in crafting drugs.
Baizhu, you're breathing really quickly. Do you have some sort of cardiovascular problem? Should you mayhap get some exercise and increase your cardiovascular health? You shouldn't be breathing that quickly.
Huh? So you're saying... it was Jiang Li?
Why is it such a shock, Paimon?
Wait, but that doesn't make any sense either. Why would she poison her own husband?
It makes more sense than him poisoning himself.
I agree. It makes little sense. Jiang Li does not strike me as the kind of person who would do such a thing.
But then you haven't known her, associated with her in many years.
Look at the facts, though. How many people in the entirety of Liyue have the ability to concoct a poison from god remains?
It's too early to draw any conclusions. We should question Jialiang about it once he has made more progress in his recovery.
Do you know of a method to neutralize the poison?
Yes. According to the Origins and Symptoms of Diseases, the minor lodes will disappear if the mother lode is purged.
So he's still left to find the source, yeah. Okay.
So if we can find and destroy the source of these god remains, the poison will leave Jialiang's system without the need for any further treatment.
So was I actually correct in my original assessment? Originally, the way they were talking about God's remains, I was thinking they were trying to say like he biologically had some sort of remnants of gods in him, and that's why I was getting really confused. I'm like, I don't understand what this means. Can you please explain it to me? How is that even possible? But then I was like, oh, I can just imagine them picking little bits off a god and sticking it in a tube and poisoning people with it. That actually seems to be more the case here. It seems like there is, in fact, a deceased body of a god just chilling around the corner, and someone's just been stealing bits and pieces of it, sticking it into a poison and poisoning somebody with it.
Do you know anything about god remains in Jinxia village?
I've only heard what rumors? No.
Even the history books have no record of this. The only ones who'll know anything are those old fogies who have been hanging around here since the beginning of time.
The Adepti, you mean?
Didn't you used to be on good terms with the Adepti, though? You sure they didn't tell you anything about this?
Well,
Changsheng's memories and powers are not what they were in her prime.
It's unfortunate.
These days, she has to enter a contract with a mortal and share their life force just to sustain her own life. I fear that such ancient events are long gone from her memory by now.
The drawbacks of longevity.
Whoa, what? After a contract? Share life force? Sounds like some pretty spooky sorcery if you ask Paimon.
But what if Baizhu dies before she can enter a contract with somebody else? Is it like a certain time period where the life force within her remains and she has time to forge a new contract?
Hey!
I have many
Plenty
questions.
of people would jump at the chance to join forces with a powerful being like me.
I don't know that I can handle you being around me 24/7, dude. I like my peace and quiet sometimes, you know, and just being by myself.
With my assistance in rebalancing your chi, not only can you extend your lifespan, but you will also be stronger, healthier, and able to eat whatever you like with no risk of upsetting your stomach.
As someone who suffers from IBS, that actually sounds pretty good. How long are you extending his lifespan though? Do you mean just like by a few years? Or do you mean like quite a few years?
Stronger and healthier? Wow, that's amazing! Baizhu, maybe when you retire, you can let Paimon sign a contract with Changsheng for a few days.
Unfortunately, Changsheng's contract has strict requirements regarding the host's temperament. None of her hosts have ever been exempted from these rules. I fear that I will be unable to accommodate your wishes, Paimon.
Temperament? Hey! What are you trying to say? Did you just subtly insult Paimon to her face?
I don't know if it was subtle, but yes. Strange, Baizhu has a weak constitution. And didn't his master pass away at an early age?
Ugh! Paimon's mad! You're getting ugly nicknames, both of you! Baizhu, you're Mannequin Man! Changsheng, you're just a pain in the neck!
This is exactly why your natural temperament makes you woefully unsuited to being my host.
All right, everybody, calm down. Back to the matter at hand. Is there any way at all for us to seek counsel from the Adepti about this?
It's like Changsheng is like a parasite that actually increases your longevity. So she's taking a weak body and, you know, parasitically feeding onto it or like clinging to it and then is like maintaining its lifespan. It's interesting. It's a weird relationship.
With how antisocial they are, if it were up to them, they'd go their whole lives without showing their faces to the common folk.
Actually, I do have someone that I can call.
What?
Seems you're as well connected as they say, traveler. We are truly fortunate to have you on our side.
Oh, if you're talking about who Paimon thinks you're talking about, you better do the honors.
Xiao. Hello.
You called?
I did. Hi.
Ugh, gets Paimon every time.
Yeah, you'd think you'd get used to it.
Are all Adepti in the habit of materializing out of thin air like this?
Well, this is unexpected.
Huh? It's you.
Baizhu of Boo Boo Pharmacy. I do believe I've had the pleasure before.
You have? Where? Why?
The Lantern Rite, when we met briefly. I was unaware of your true identity.
Don't remember you meeting, but
I
okay.
Must apologize for the discourtesy.
Huh? You two already know each other?
Our paths have crossed once before. I sense the presence of evil spirits. Is this why you called me?
Yes. I wanted to ask you about dead gods. You tell Xiao everything that has happened.
So someone has been concocting demonic poison. Too often, fervent desires drive mortals to abandon all regard for their own safety. It is lamentable. I now know what you seek. It is true that a god's remains are buried beneath the foundations of Qingce village. A vile monster known as the Che once wrought havoc over this land, before it was subdued by Rex Lapis.
Zhongli! Can he give us some answers? Or are we just going to get them all from Xiao? It's been so long since we've seen Zhongli. Okay, it's only been a couple of months because wasn't it just the last lantern ride? But still, it feels like it's been a while.
The land was finally cleansed of poison when Rex Lapis used statues in his likeness to seal the serpent's remains. Jinxa village was founded some time after that. The seal is still mostly intact. If the Cha is the source, then it must be some of its blood leaking from deep underground.
Now, guys, I know it says Chi, but this is not the correct symbol. I'm not up on my Chinese transliteration, but this dot isn't a dot, it's a line. I don't know if it's a line up or a line across. I don't know how the different Chinese symbols, but for this to be a ch, it's not a dot. It's a line of some description which changes the pronunciation of the vowel. So even though it says chi, it's not pronounced chi, it's ch.
However, its aura is faint and barely detectable. You will need to investigate further to identify the location of the leak.
I'm assuming that special characters aren't included in this font pack, so they just went for a straight eye. I see.
I do not like to intervene against mortals unless absolutely necessary.
Fair, but I would like your help nonetheless.
But when demonic forces are involved,
Yeah.
things can spiral out of control. If that happens, be sure to call my name again.
Thank you, Xiao. What's your problem with him? Oh, it's the snake. Do you two know each other and she doesn't remember?
Nothing.
Aww.
I do not wish to sway decisions that are mortals to make, but immortality may not be the blessing that you imagine it to be.
He's specifically speaking to Changsheng. He definitely knew her in the past. And may even have warned her of the drawbacks.
I shall treasure your words of instruction, Master Adeptus.
Farewell.
What a strange Adeptus. Rather different from the way I remember them.
That's Xiao for ya! And thanks to him, we finally got some concrete info to go off of.
If the god remains are leaking from underground, Jiangli must be paying a visit to a subterranean cave on her herb-gathering trips. If we can find the cave...
It's a pretty big space to investigate.
Master, there's a problem.
You ran all the way here from Liyue Harbor? Man, you've got endurance.
Wait? Did you run all the way from Boo Boo Pharmacy?
Get your own sentence, Paimon.
What happened? Don't panic. Just catch your breath and tell me everything.
Nothing phases him, does it?
It's Jiaoliang. He was fine one minute, and then he suddenly took a turn for the worse.
God, that was even shorter time than I expected.
Already? How?
We're not going back, dude. We've got a cave to find, right here, where we are.
Based on past experience, he should have been fine for the next 3 days at least.
It means something changed with the motherlode.
It seems that my worst fears have been confirmed. Everyone, back to Boo Boo Pharmacy now.
Or we'll just skip the cave. Guess that's an option too.